Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. This is our segment called Retro Restorations, where we get in the time machine and go back in time to look at the tractor restorations that I've done in the past before I started my YouTube channel. So this week we're going to look at our 1939 John Deere B slant dash. And if you don't know what a slant dash is, stay tuned, you're about to find out. Alright, so here it is on my trailer. 1939 John Deere B slant dash. I bought this from my buddy Brian. I remember going with him to pick it up. I think we bought it in like Chesapeake, Virginia. I probably about a year or so before I bought it bought it from him. And I think the guy that owned it passed away, and his family wanted somebody to, do something with it, as always. So Brian had bought it, and he had another B already, the B that we had swapped back and forth many times. Anyway, I was looking for a tractor, looking for a project. He had this, and I picked it up. Here it is, just chained down in my trailer at my place. I love these older axle housings that have the cast letters John Deere in them. It's pretty cool. This picture here, you can see the rear work light. It's original for the tractor, and then you'll eventually see the two front headlights as well. They're not rare, but not usually on there. They're usually busted off or have been replaced by a newer light. Here you can see one of the front lights there above the clutch housing. One thing I didn't like about this tractor was the front wheels. I'm not a big fan of spoke wheels, so those eventually ended up coming off. And here's probably one of the better shots that you'll see until after it's restored of the slant dash. So as you can see, the gauge cluster there, the dash has a slant to it, or an incline. Typically it's just a vertical straight up and down, and the gauges are typically almost like a stoplight directly on top of each other. So this was just another one of those styling cues. I think it was like 39 and 40 were the only years that had those slant dash. And I believe it was just the John Deere B and the John Deere A. I could be mistaken, but if you know for sure, leave a comment below. But it was pretty solid tractor for what it was. Here it is under my current work area. Wow, it hasn't looked that clean in a long time. And here it is nestled in with Sweaty Betty. Man, that tractor's been here for a minute. Here's a shot out in front of my house. Sweaty Betty on the right, the John Deere B slant dash in the middle, and then had a nice John Deere 3-cylinder diesel with a loader. It was a 950, and it's got a rototiller on the back. But anyway, that was a work tractor. It wasn't a restoration. No videos on that, but cool little trio there. Here it is in the garage. I think this photo got put out of order, but you can see I have the solid front wheels that have already been painted with new tires on them here. Hadn't been put on the tractor yet, but as we flip through, you'll see the same solid front tire rims with the old tires on them here. Just hadn't been painted yet, so they got kind of switched around. But anyway, fall time, nice and cool. Just going for rides, testing things out. Here it is out front again. There's the 950 across the street. Never should have sold that tractor. I think it was a workhorse. No emissions or anything. Alright, here it is on the side of my house. This is when I'm getting ready to start the restoration on it. You can see it's got brand new tires in the back, which is a huge money savings when you're restoring a tractor. Just a couple more shots of it before I tore it down. Alright, here we are starting to disassemble. Now this tractor ran good, worked good, everything was good for the most part. It was pretty much just a cosmetic restoration. I think I did end up redoing both of the brakes and the brake housings on it. Took the manifold off there. I think I had to replace those studs. Nothing major. Here it is up on some cribbing with some jacks. I do remember taking those rear wheels off because, one, they were the cast rims, which are extremely heavy. They weren't the pressed steel, and the tires were filled. They were a bear to move around by myself. Here I've stripped the rear end all the way down to bare metal. Went a little crazy. I don't usually go complete bare metal like that, but I don't know, for some reason I did. You can see those the John Deere cast into the axle housings. Awesome. Just really pops once it's painted green, and you can, you know, paint those letters yellow. All right, here's the back end in primer. I think I did the rear end first and then switched to the front. For what reason, I don't know. Usually I do the whole tractor and just prime it all at once, but I must have had my reasons. All right, here's a pile of parts. This is all the tin work, the seat, nose cone, clutch cover, air filter, everything. I ended up bringing this stuff to get sandblasted. I just didn't want to deal with going through and having to wire wheel all these parts, so I paid a little bit of extra, and I think it was worth it. All right, it's kind of a weird picture. Those rear wheels are leaning up against the side of my lean-to, and again, I think these are out of order, but the tractor's already been painted green, and I just covered everything as not to get spray dust on it when I painted the wheels. So okay, here you can kind of see a little better situation of what's going on here. And here's the frame, all painted up in green. You'll notice that the axles are covered in blue painter's tape. I do not paint the axles. Don't recommend painting them. It makes it really hard to get the rims on and off. So I usually take it down to bare metal, and then I'll just do a coating of oil or grease or something on there. And then if you want to paint the ends of them black or something, that's fine, but I highly recommend not painting the axles. Just a few more pictures of it in the lean-to. Alright, here it is in my driveway in front of my house. At this point, it was painted, and I had put the wheels on it to make it mobile. I wanted to move it into the garage to finish reassembly. I probably had another project about to start that I needed the side yard for. There's another John Deere B. I think that's a long frame one. Anyway, that one I picked up in Northern Virginia, brought it home and sold it. It wasn't running when I bought it or when I sold it. It's just one of those tractors that, you know, I bought it with the intention of restoring and just never got to it. Again, probably somebody else wanted it more than I did at the time and just let it go. So, plus obviously I didn't need to have two John Deere Bs. So here it is tucked in the back of the garage. This was just so that I could, you know, work on getting things assembled inside, not having to worry about the weather. You can see my John Deere MC in the background, and then again, obviously the 950 next to it. And this is before I restored the MC. It was painted like that from my buddy Pat. He had done that a few years prior. The blade obviously hadn't been painted, but this video is not about that. We'll talk about that next week. Again, just you know, getting everything put together. There's a picture of the stub shaft for the crank, where this is where the flywheel would go on the left-hand side. I believe I removed, there's a cork gasket in there to keep, and it's basically a seal to keep the oil from coming out. It was leaking. All the tin work and stuff back from the sandblaster, primed and painted. Starting to assemble things back on the tractor. And who doesn't like a nice chrome stack? Here I got that flywheel reinstalled. You can see the to the left of the flywheel, which would be towards the front of the tractor, the brass petcock there. There's one on each side, one for each cylinder, and you open those up when you start the tractor. It's to help. It's a decompression valve, basically. Makes it easier for the tractor to start. Once it's running, you close those off, and it's good to go. There's that slant dash down on the ground underneath the tractor, and you can see I have both brake housings off. The brakes on this, if I remember correctly, either didn't work or one would like lock up on you. It wasn't fun loading on a trailer. More assembly at this point. I've got the small fuel tank above the flywheel on there. That was originally for like your gasoline to start the engine. It was a dual fuel tractor. You'd have a small tank filled with gasoline to start the tractor. Once it was started and warmed up, you could shift it over to what they called like a farm distillate or kerosene. It was just a lower grade fuel. You'd work the tractor on that cheaper fuel, and at the end of the day, before you shut it down, you'd switch it back to the gasoline in order to get the gasoline into the carburetor to make for ease of starting the following day. So it's just a way of not having to burn the more expensive gasoline at that time. And here's a video of it out in front of the house next to the MC crawler. And here it is, completed, sitting in my driveway with Sweaty Betty. I've got the flags on both of them, so this is, I'm going to assume, probably 4th of July at that year, and just parked them out front, trying to be a little patriotic. And I think this is getting close to the end. This is just it finished, sitting in the garage, all restored. And that's it. Alright, that's going to wrap it up for this week's retro restorations with the John Deere B Slant Dash. Hopefully you learned something from there. Pretty cool tractor, and went off to a good home somewhere. I can't remember where the guy lived. I think he was in West Virginia or something, but anyway, I had an A at one point too that was a Slant Dash, but I never restored it. I got it running and sold it, so they're out there. They're not super rare, but definitely not as common as a regular vertical flat dash. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Retro Restorations. We'll see you back next Wednesday.